Good day, it's Althea from the Bible in 1 Year. Today we will spend time in Jeremiah chapter 9 to 13. Chapter 8 ends with Jeremiah that weeps before the Lord. Verse 20 says, "The harvest is past, the summer has ended, and the gathering of fruit is over, but we are not saved. For the brokenness of my people I am broken. I mourn anxiously, anxiety has gripped me. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? Why then has the spiritual health of my daughter of my people been restored?" Jeremiah complaining, saying, "I did what you, Lord, has placed in my heart. I labored, I was obedient, but there is no fruit on my labor." Desperately he cries out, "Is there no medicine, plan, or person that can change their spiritual sickness, brokenness, and their sin? I followed the plan of God. There is no one better than God to help and restore them. But they did not repent. My effort did not work. So what then will work?" Chapter 9 verse 2 he says, "They are an assembly of treacherous men, of weak character, men without integrity." There is an age-old saying, "Weak men creates bad times. Bad times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men." This complete circle in life over the years repeats itself over and over again. Chapter 10 verse 24, Jeremiah pray, "O Lord, correct me along with your people, but with mercy and in just measure, not in your anger, or you will crush me and bring me to nothing." The Lord reminds him in chapter 11, verse 2 to 6, that the covenant they have made with God at Mount Sinai under the leadership of Moses after God brought them out of Egypt. This covenant was a conditional covenant, meaning that there were very specific laws they needed to obey in order to receive the blessings of God as stated in Deuteronomy 27 verse 15 to 26. The nation broke the covenant with God, but God states in verse 5 of Jeremiah 11, "I must fulfill my part of this covenant." Titus 1 verse 2 teaches us that God cannot lie. Therefore, there is no way around it. God will keep his part of the covenant, meaning all the curses of Deuteronomy will come on them. God, knowing this, extends his mercy, sending another prophet to try and get to them, to change their ways, to man up and become the good men and women that brings good times. Unfortunately, they did not listen. Jeremiah 12 verse 11 says, "Because no man take it to heart." Verse 13, "They have exhausted themselves, but without profit." Jeremiah became impatient in chapter 12. He questions God's mercy. "You planted them. They have taken root. They grow. They have even produced fruit. You are honored by their hypocritical lips, but they are far from their heart and mind. You, O Lord, know me, understand my devotion to you. You see me, you examine the attitudes of my heart towards you." As a servant of God, God tests Jeremiah in chapter 12. When you test something, you test it to see if it will withstand pressure, hold up under stress, or compare it to a certain standard. You see, knowledge is not enough. We need wisdom. Wisdom is when we apply knowledge. It's possible to live a Christian life doing all the right things, but don't have an intimate relationship with God. Or you can hear his voice and not obey it. Then we don't pass the test. We don't live up to the standard. The test comes in hard times to see if we will live up to the standard. if you will remain faithful under pressure, still obey even if it does not make sense. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we constantly strive for being better, doing better, to excel at something, to climb the corporate ladder higher, even more, quicker. Life in general is a battle of the fittest. Currently, we live in hard times with men of bad character. We have weak men and women that are corrupt, that steal and lie. Men and women that live a religious life but do not stand in relationship with God. They don't listen to God's voice, and they certainly don't wish to obey. Let's be the strong men and women that live in bad times, that is not afraid to stand up, to live up to the standard. If we strive, let us strive to hear the voice of God. Let us strive to obey the voice of God. Let's respond to God's given purpose in our life, just like Jeremiah responds to his calling. Even though he did not see the results in his own lifetime, let's be the men and women that creates good times through obedience to God. May this word encourage you to respond to God's calling for salvation and to respond to God's calling to live a life of purpose, His purpose for your life. Let's keep on keeping on even if we don't see results. Goodbye.